Everyone is broke and prices are going through the roof. Guys, people are struggling out there and living off credit just to survive. We are headed for a major financial catastrophe. Today's video comes from the Snyder Report. His channel will be linked in the description so that you can go check him out and support him. Watch to the end of the video to fully understand how we are going to be heading towards a major economic collapse and what we are going to need to do to survive it and even thrive. And now let's just go ahead and jump right into the video.
So I am broke and I need help. Now, millions and millions of Americans are struggling at this time because prices for everything, for shelter, for food, for utilities, for gas, for trips, everything is going through the roof. Chicken, more expensive. Beef, more expensive. Everything is just more expensive. But our incomes are not increasing along with the expenses. It's turning into a massive problem. Now today, I want to break down what's going on. Talk about how millions of people are struggling at this time. But I want to explain what I'm doing and what you can too to actually put some more money back into your pocket. I am broke and I need help. That was a comment that I received just recently. But the crazy part about this is it wasn't just one comment. I receive dozens of comments, dozens of emails every single day telling me the exact same thing. I have no money. I maxed out my credit cards. I need help. I need help with my finances. That's what I see all the time. Well, guess what? Things are about to get worse over this holiday shopping season, and for very good reasons. People are trying to just stay afloat. They're trying to pay off debt. But one of the biggest hurdles, one of the biggest struggles that people have is they're trying to maintain the exact same lifestyle that they had 2 years ago, 3 years ago. And it's just not doable. Look at this right here. This article from the Washington Post says credit card debt hit a record $1.17 trillion. It's a red flag for budgets. It says, though incomes are up, Americans are putting more on plastic and stretching to pay on time, reinforcing the precarious nature of cash flow. Cash flow is very important. If you don't have positive cash flow and you're negative every single month, you're going to go deeper and deeper into a hole.
Now, I wanted to just jump in right here because I've been warning you guys constantly that Americans are putting everything on credit right now. People do not have money. But to make matters worse, over $1.1 trillion in credit card debt. This money is never going to be paid back. Just like we had the subprime mortgage meltdown in 2007, we're going to have another meltdown again when it comes to credit card debt. And people who took on massive amounts of credit card debt that could not ever actually pay it back. Companies gave people and just like there were people getting loans, getting loans to purchase houses and so forth that they could not afford. These companies are still giving out, credit card companies up until recently were still giving out credit to people who could never pay it back. Many of you listening probably know this. You could make $100,000 a year and struggle to get a credit card with a $10,000 limit on it, but then a person only making $35,000 a year ends up with $100,000 in credit, between 2 or 3 cards, and it doesn't make any sense. And that's because the game is rigged. I learned how to increase my credit limit by learning how to play the game and understanding the algorithm and the metrics that the system looks for. Guys, I have tens of thousands of dollars of available credit right now to me, but that's because I have a background in computer science and I've been hacking the algorithms. Okay? And I'm not the only one who does it. If you look on YouTube, there are a bunch of professionals who teach you how to hack the credit algorithm. It's literally an algorithm that it uses. There are different credit rating systems, and understanding how to manipulate them, that's the key to getting higher loans, knowing how to spend, knowing how to pay for this, knowing how to understand how it behaves. It's not actual people looking and making these decisions. It's literally just computer software, and it makes lots of mistakes. You can have a person who makes $200,000 a year. They can prove their income and they apply for a credit card, and the credit card companies do not want to even give them $2,000 or $3,000. But then you have a person who makes $20,000 or $25,000 a year, and they get a $5,000 limit on their first try. The reason is because the person who makes $200,000 a year does not have an established credit history. Even though they may have a credit card in their wallet, they have not been actively using it. They have not actively been making payments on it. And as a result of that, yeah, they've used it in the past, but only for a quick purchase here and there. But they don't use it on a regular basis. So the credit card company says, well, based on this information, and it's just software, we don't have enough information to say that you're trustworthy, even though you make a substantial amount of money. Versus the person who only makes $25,000 a year, but they've taken out multiple purchases on a regular basis and paid them all back very, very quickly. Okay, so they have back to back, high purchases, like a couple $1,000s. So let's say, for example, they use their credit card to make all their grocery purchases every single month. Guys, harsh times, not simply hard, harsh times are coming, and many people will not survive them. Let me ask you something. If everything fell apart tomorrow, if banks closed their doors, ATMs stopped working, and the economy collapsed, what would you do? How would you protect yourself, your family, and your future? That's not a hypothetical. Look around. Our economy is crumbling, and those who aren't preparing now are going to be left with nothing. No money, no resources, no way to survive. But there's a way to protect yourself and even thrive when everything else is falling apart. In my latest investment guide over at Angry's Crypto Academy, I break down an incredible opportunity, a simple $10 move that could not only prepare you for what's coming, but could also set you up for true financial freedom. This isn't hype. It's about being ready when others are panicking. At the Crypto Academy, we teach you everything you need to know about crypto, how to buy, sell, and even day trade crypto for a living. We alert you to new trends before they explode so you can profit before anyone else even knows what's happening. When the collapse comes, and it will, you will be in a position not just to survive, but to thrive. While others are struggling, you'll be the one prepared, buying when everyone else is selling. This isn't optional knowledge. It's critical. For some, it will be the difference between life and death. And for a limited time, you can join the Academy for the cost of a cup of coffee. Click the link in the description to check out the investment guide and learn more. Don't wait. This knowledge could be the one thing standing between you and financial disaster or financial freedom. The window is closing, and you don't want to be the one looking back wishing you'd acted. Protect yourself, protect your family, be ready. And they do that every month, and then they pay that off every month. The credit card company looks at it and they go, holy cow, we're making tons of money from this person from the fees, because we don't actually want you to hold on to our money for a long period of time. We want our money back at the end of the month. This person, he gets it. He's giving us money. He's giving us our money back at the end of the month on time, every time. And we're making all of this money off fees. Okay. So over the course of a year, this person spent $1,500 a month on groceries. Okay. So that works out to $18,000 a year. And we've been able to make money off $18,000 every single year from this person, even though they, on paper, only make around $25,000 a year. So we're making bank from this person versus someone who makes $200,000 a year, but they've only spent $1,000 here or there. They didn't even bother paying it off immediately, And it's only been, yeah, you have a good payment record, although it's not a consistent. It's been once or twice. So we're not going to give you much credit. There are a bunch of tricks to learning how to fix your credit very quickly and how to game the system so that you can raise your credit limit and have available credit when you need it. Guys, you need to have credit. I'm telling you, especially when the markets crash, you need to have credit. You don't want to pay in cash, especially when you need to buy big ticket items. Do not pay in cash. All right. If you buy a new laptop, do not pay in cash. If you buy a new stove, do not pay in cash, because sometimes something goes wrong and you need to be able to get your money back immediately. If you paid in cash, it's much harder. You paid with your debit, it's much harder. But when you pay in credit, your money is safe in the bank, and the credit card agency will go to battle for you, go to war for you against the company that you did the transaction with if they don't want to give you your money back. I talked about this experience recently. I purchased a laptop for over $3,000, over 3K. And what did they do? They screwed me over. They screwed me over. They didn't want to they kept on telling me the money is on the way. I purchased it from Best Buy. And for almost 1 month after I sent back their defective product, they still refused to refund me all of my money. And I kept on calling in and asking, where's my money? And they kept on telling me, oh, it's coming in 7 to 10 days. And then another 7 to 10 days. And then another 7 to 10 days. Guys, that's fraud. That's fraud. And then on top of it, everyone I'm speaking to is someone who's not in the country. They're in another country. So now I'm pissed off and furious. But guess what? I used my Chase credit card. So I just said, this is the last time I'm speaking to you. Okay, I asked, could I please speak to someone in the United States? Oh, we're sorry, that's not possible. Okay, so now I have a solution. I'm just going to go straight to my credit card company and tell them what happened. Oh, my credit card company let me know that, well, after 15 days, they have to return your money to you. How long has it been? Oh, it's been more than 15 days now. Okay, so I just reported it. Okay, I have all my data. I have all my evidence showing that the transaction was canceled. It showing that the product was returned. Everything was canceled. And now my credit card company is taking care of that matter. And if they've informed me, I do not have to make any payments on that amount while they're doing their investigation. And it's as simple as that. And of course, I've kept all of my records to show that everything was returned and to show exactly what's going on. I have transcripts of my conversations with these agents overseas. So they're the ones who are screwed. This is, guys, that's why credit is important to have. Also, if you run into a situation, let's say you're traveling and you need emergency access to funds, right? You don't want to take that money out of your bank account. You want to put it on a credit card. For example, let's say you're in Mexico and you get into an accident and you need to go to the hospital and they try to charge you a ton of money for medical care. Well, what do? Don't give them your bank account. Do not wire them. Do not wire them any money or anything. Use a credit card. Use the credit card, charge a credit card, and then after you've received whatever you need, okay, if they took advantage of you, report that to the credit card company. And the credit card company may look at it and say, yeah, this is a scam. This is 100% a scam. This is illegal. And it's a high possibility, at least a possibility, that you can prevent those funds. You can prevent those funds from being paid to those crooks. I remember an example for you. I'll share a good example. There's a content creator on YouTube. Her name is Wholesale Ted. I believe it's Wholesale Ted. And she was in, I think, Canada. I forget what country she's from, but she was, I believe, in Canada visiting. And yes, they do have universal healthcare in Canada, but that's for their citizens, not you. You go to Canada, they're going to charge you for your healthcare if you're a foreigner. And something happened to her while she was in Canada, if I recall, and she had to be in the hospital. And I believe she also needed surgery. It was that serious. But because this is a young woman who had been preparing for hard times, who had been building up her wealth, she was able to just pay the bill. She was able to cover the cost without any real issue. And that's one of the very valuable things about having access to a credit card in these situations. You don't want to give people cash, guys. You want to have credit, so it puts a barrier between you and the other person, just in case you're dealing with someone dishonest. Okay? And your money is safe in the bank. Guys, we are 100% in a bubble right now. And we are not nearing an economic crisis. We are in an economic crisis. We've been in an economic crisis, and they have been lying about the numbers as people have been losing their jobs and using credit to survive. You need to prepare, guys. You need to learn how to build a decentralized bank account. You need to learn how to diversify your assets. You need to get into crypto. Let me ask you something. If everything fell apart tomorrow, if banks closed their doors, ATMs stopped working, and the economy collapsed, what would you do? How would you protect yourself, your family, and your future? That's not just a hypothetical. Look around. Our economy is crumbling. And those who aren't preparing now are going to be left with nothing. No money, no resources, no way to survive. But there's a way to protect yourself and even thrive when everything else is falling apart. In my latest investment guide over at Angry's Crypto Academy, I break down an incredible opportunity, a simple $10 move that could not only prepare you for what's coming, but could also set you up for true financial freedom. This isn't hype, it's about being ready when others are panicking. At the Crypto Academy, we teach you everything you need to know about crypto, how to buy, sell, and even day trade crypto for a living. We alert you to new trends before they explode, so you can profit before anyone else even knows what's happening. When the collapse comes, and it will, you will be able to position yourself to not just survive, but to also thrive. While others are struggling, you'll be the one prepared, buying when everyone else is selling. This isn't optional knowledge. It's critical. For some, it will be the difference between life and death. And for a limited time, you can join the Academy for the cost of a cup of coffee. Click the link in the description to check out the blog post and learn more. Don't wait. This knowledge could be the one thing standing between you and financial disaster. The window is closing, and you don't want to be the one looking back wishing you acted. Protect yourself, protect your family, be ready. I'll see you on the other side.
And there's not much you can do about it other than make a little bit extra money. Now, I want to read you a comment right here. This person wrote to me and says, I am broke and need help now. My rent is coming due and I am already 1 month behind. My car payment of $716 is due on the 28th. I have $17,000 in medical bills and I have no idea how I will pay for any of this. Eventually, or everything keeps getting more and more expensive, but my income hasn't gone up in over a year. Please help. Now, I did give some assistance here. I did provide some help, and I want to explain what that is in a moment. But listen to this comment. This is from a friend of mine. He manages a bank. He says, and I quote, I'm not saying that some of our customers are out of touch with reality, but listen to this. A customer who has been coming to the bank since I started, which probably been 15 years or longer, recently came in asking for a new loan. She is close to falling behind on her $584 monthly car payment, in which we have, and she wants some spending money for the holidays. So she thought the best option is to get a personal loan to cover the car payment and then some. Obviously, we had to deny this loan request, but this is what we have been up against lately. More people are realizing that they are broke and don't know how to get out of debt.
Y'all, no. This is 100% doom spending. This lady has a $500 plus monthly car bill and wanted some spending money for the holidays. So she went to the bank and said, hey, y'all, could you give me some money? And you know what's messed up? In past years, they would have just given her the money. Now, keep in mind, There are boomers and there are Gen X, Gen Zers right now that are doing the same garbage where they're just maxing out credit cards. Okay, that's how guys. The boomers, for the boomers, what they a lot of what the boomers do is that they have, the properties, these highly inflated properties, so they just wait until rates are low and then they refinance it all over again, and they basically treat those properties as big piggy banks. Real estate is just one big Ponzi scheme of the boomers. Let's make that clear. Okay? It's one big Ponzi scheme. The thing is, when it comes to crypto, crypto is our revenge. And I will explain. There's a comment from one of my subscribers, and he breaks it down very perfectly. I mentioned it in another video, but I'm going to bring it here again. He says, I bought well over $500 worth of XRP. Mark my words, it will be more than $1,000 per coin. I bought 5 Litecoins when it dipped to $91 after holding 10 when it was $65 last year. Dodge is a no-brainer. 4 years of Trump in charge, plus Elon tweeting about Dodge will make it skyrocket. SHIB will skyrocket because boomers want to get in. This is where we strike and take from the boomers. They stole our futures, but we will take their pensions as they sleep on the streets while we dine on 5-course meals in our 20-acre land nice home. Guys, pretty much everything these days is a Ponzi scheme. I'm just going to be very honest with you. Think about the stock markets. The stock markets are a Ponzi scheme. It's a Ponzi scheme. It's a legal Ponzi scheme, but it is a Ponzi scheme. It is completely dependent on the next guy coming along and investing money to make the guy before him a profit. If people stop investing, if new people stop coming in and investing money, then everyone loses their money. Don't you get it? Pretty much everything is a Ponzi scheme. Social Security is a Ponzi scheme. It's a legal Ponzi scheme, but it is a Ponzi scheme. It's completely dependent on the next guy coming along, paying his Social Security taxes into the funds, and keeping it going. There's the Social Security will be empty completely come the mid 2030s. Probably before that, though. How did that happen? Because the government started borrowing from it and just never put the money back, even though they said they would. What they did was they said, we'll just let future generations worry about that. And they used the money in there to pay for everything that they wanted. And it was the boomers who signed off on this. It was the boomers who celebrated this. Guys, the boomers are the wealthiest generation in the history of the world. Check this out. Not the wealthiest generation in modern history, or in the last 100 years, or in the last 1,000 years. They are the wealthiest generation in the history of the world. And yet, check this, roughly half of every tax dollar is spent to subsidize the boomers, to cover their Social Security, to cover their Medicare, to cover their transportation, to help with housing, to help with food. 50% of every tax dollar is going to the baby boomers? Doesn't that sound kind of messed up to you? So the wealthiest generation in American history, not American history, in world history, it's crazy. Since the dawn of time, is also the generation that almost half of every tax dollar is being spent on. And that's going to only increase further as more of them begin to retire and start drawing money from the Social Security fund and from Medicare. Many of you probably don't know this, and I didn't know this, but on some Medicare plans, the boomers are also able to buy food. Yes, this is crazy stuff. I didn't know that. Guys, they're able to buy food. They get help with their utilities. They get money to cover the cost of their transportation. So, for example, they will actually set them up with Lyft rides to take them to their doctor visits if they need to go, or provide them with a taxi. What the living heck is this? Guys, they stole our futures from us while we were in diapers, but crypto will give us the ability to steal it back. This is the reason I said that we are going to witness the greatest wealth transfer in the history of the world as the boomer bucks begin to crash, all the markets crash, and the only thing that has any real intrinsic value that can be quickly accessed, stored, and protected is cryptocurrency. When I was growing up, I had to by 8 years old, I had to know how to work the VCR because my parents didn't. My parents didn't know how to do anything. That's how the baby boomers were. They weren't very good with technology. Is there the exception? Absolutely. But it's very, very strange. The boomers are strange people. For example, I'm very, all of Gen X, the millennials are, we understand technology very well. We're up to date. I'm 41 years old and I'm way up to date of technology. I'm constantly, well, and I have a background in computer science, but, you know, guys, I'm constantly up to date. Even if you look at YouTube videos, most of those people who are doing analytics and stuff and data analysis and, reviews on tech and stuff like this, these are Gen Xers. These are Gen Xers and old millennials. So something's going on. We're all old now. We're all getting old and we have to be on top of everything. We have to know how to do everything. I just take this into consideration. Justine, many of you guys will hear of Justine. She's right around my age. She's one of the big tech YouTubers. Justine's right around my age. She's born in like 1984. I was born in 1983. I'm a Zennial. And we're on the cutting edge of technology. But the baby boomers, a baby boomer, if you go back to the year, if you go back to the year 2000, let's go back to the year 2000. You had baby boomers that were still quite young at that point. I mean, the youngest of the boomers were born in 1946. Let's say if you went back to 2000, when you had things like the iPod and all of these different crazy and iMacs and all of this tech out there, and you had the baby boomers. And, let's say someone who was born in 1960, that's fair, 1960. All right. So they would have been about 40 years old in 2000, 39 going on 40. Guys, this is your final warning. The crypto bull run is almost here, and the window to build life changing wealth is closing fast. Discover the 7 hidden gems that could explode 100 times or even 1,000 times. These coins are poised to dominate the market and could be your ticket to financial freedom. Don't miss out on these crucial crypto insights. Check out the full investing guide linked in the description before it's too late. You would expect that the boomers would know how to use things like Macs. They would know how to use things like iPods. They would know how to use technology because they were there at the very beginning. Don't forget that even though it seems like computers are brand new and it happened during the millennial life cycle, guys, I'm a Zennial, so I'm a late Gen Xer. We had these old computers when we were growing up, like old Macintoshes. But to be very, very clear, they were nothing special. They were more like word processors, and they weren't anything special. Okay, things didn't really get lit until we got into the '90s, and then Windows 95. Windows 95 was actual. Was it Windows 95 was crap? I think it was actually 97 that was the good one. But we didn't really get into the advent of technology until we really got into like Windows 95 and then Windows 97 and so forth. So like right around the mid 90s, that's when things like we really started to get cool stuff. But the boomers, they had plenty of time to learn how technology worked. They had plenty of time to master this stuff, and yet they don't know anything. They should be good with computers. They should know exactly how to use everything like the back of their hands. You know, they should. It's crazy. It's guys. I mean, do you know who else sucks at technology? Gen Z. Gen Z is terrible with tech. Just because they can use a cell phone doesn't mean that they know how to use technology. They can barely write an email, and the little jerks will immediately say, whose fault is that?" They're they're terrible with technology. Okay, being able to shoot a video and put a video on TikTok doesn't make you good with tech. With very basic things, they struggle. Are there the exception? Of course, but most Gen Zers even struggle with things like AI. I remember writing a comment where I said that, Gen Z, no, correction, Gen Alpha thinks that AI works on magic, and then a Gen Z responds and says, "I'm Gen Z, and I also think that it works on magic." He wasn't joking. He was quite serious. And I know, guys, they really don't know. They're not a very studious bunch. A lot of them graduated during the events of 2020 from high school and college. And as a result of that, they got degrees and diplomas they should never have earned. And they basically learned that they can get whatever they want without having to work for anything. They're going to be a drag on society, guys.
Now, here's where things are going to get worse. Experts are predicting an increase in consumer holiday spending. You're going to buy things like clothes and shoes and tools and home goods, maybe a new car. I don't think anyone's going to be buying their dream house right now, but you never know. People are going to be going on vacations and living the life that they always wanted. Here's the problem. Don't have the money. Listen to this one. I think this one's interesting. This person says, and I quote, "I could really use your help with my finances. My income is just over $5,000 a month, but my expenses have ballooned due to insurance costs and now having to pay my student loans. My expenses are now over $5,000, but I just can't seem to make a decision on what to cut out of my life." Now, here's where it is turning into a problem. Look at this right here. This article says, holiday spending debt skyrockets. 66% of Americans plan to borrow this year. Now, I want to show you this. Look at this right here. Look at these numbers. This is crazy. 26% expect to take on $100 to $300 of holiday debt. 13% estimate $300 to $500 in debt. 17% plan on accruing $500 to $700 in debt. 19% foresee $700 to $900 in debt. 15% anticipate $900 to $1,000 of debt. And 10% believe they will take on more than $1,000 of holiday debt.
Now, some of you are going to go, well, some of those amounts aren't all that too big, Angry, so what's the problem? What's the problem is that these people are taking on debt just for something like a $100 or $300 purchase. Guys, this is doom spending. This is 100% doom spending. Typically, people do not go into debt during the holidays. You spend the money that you have available or you don't buy it at all. You're not going to go into debt to buy things for others. Why these people are going into debt is because they are buying things for themselves. They are looking at all the Black Friday deals right now, all the Christmas holiday deals, and they're saying, I want to go ahead and buy these things for myself. I want to have a good time. That's what's really happening here. So they're taking on massive amounts of debt to go ahead and feed their misery, to help to deal with their pain and suffering. It's absolutely a terrible situation that we are in right now.
Okay. Now, the reason why I'm showing you that is because I want to read this comment to you. This is what I'm talking about. People are falling in love with their lifestyles, their traditions, and it's turning into a massive issue. Listen to this comment. This person wrote on a video that I did talking about credit card debt. This person says, and I quote, "I know what you mean. I just put an entire trip to Vail on my credit card for Christmas, and a few days later, my credit card got canceled. I've heard you talk about people getting this done to them, but never thought it would happen to me." Yeah, This is exactly what's going on. These credit card companies are trying to minimize their risk. And by doing so, by pretty much by canceling cards, by reducing credit lines, okay, it's hurting people because they can't pay for their utilities. They can't pay for maybe their car insurance. They can't pay for their cell phone. Even some people are canceling their Netflix and Hulu accounts because it's just too expensive.
You see, the way that I use credit is I use it to allow me to balance my budget better. So I don't have to spend money right away. It also keeps track of all my purchases for me. So if I buy new electronics or I purchase different services, it keeps track of all of these things for me. And instead of just making a bunch of random purchases, all of my purchases are on my credit cards or one specific card that I like to use. Now, keep in mind, you don't want to make every purchase on just one card typically. You actually want to make purchases on different cards. If you have multiple different credit cards, you want to spend, and you use these cards to, let's say, buy your groceries and you pay it off all at the end of the month. You want to actually break it up a little bit. I'll tell you the reason why. You want to ensure that you're using credit across your different cards as often as you can for bigger purchases. This way, the credit card companies are making money off those cards. And there's a cash flow occurring through all of those cards. By doing this, you do this for about 3 months. That's actually going to result in your credit availability going up, because that's what the credit card companies want to see. They want to see that not only are you responsible, they're going to get their money back every single month, or at latest by the following month, or very large payments. And that's what they want to see. They don't want to take on the risk of, giving you this money that they're never going to get back. And if they see you charging something like $17,000 for a trip to Greece, they're going to cut you off because they're going to say, you can't pay this off. But if you're using that money to purchase something like a laptop, then, that's something that you could potentially be using for business or do you see something tangible? You have to avoid non-tangible things. You have to be very, very careful purchasing non-tangible things with credit cards. You have to be very careful purchasing luxury items because they keep track of your purchases. So if they see you using your credit cards to take trips, to take spa vacations and all this other garbage, and you're not a person who is regularly paying that credit card off every single month, you're going to be in trouble. Again, that's one of the main reasons why you want to keep your utilization low. You don't typically want to go above a 10% credit utilization. You must never go above a 30% credit utilization though, because then your credit score will actually go down. So for example, if you have $100,000 in available credit, the reality is that you should never be carrying at any given time no more than $29,000. Because if you hit $30,000, it's going to send your credit score down because your credit utilization is now 30% or above. That's correct. The credit card companies do not want you to use above 30% or more. Guys, isn't that insane? So you're going to say, well, why do they give you all of that available credit? Well, if you go and you make a large purchase, then you can use the credit for those things, but you're going to have to clear that off within a month. This is the main purchase. This is the main thing. One of the cool things about credit, however, is, for example, let's say I wanted to purchase a mobile home, but I have a credit card available, and the mobile home, the land, these things, the credit card company will see that I have a good payment history and I'm purchasing something tangible. I am purchasing actual things. I'm not buying, it's not just fun and games. I'm purchasing things of actual value. So the credit card company is going to look at that and they're going to say, yes, you're actually using this to purchase something like this. Of course, they'll do a risk assessment, but there's that. And as long as they get their money back by the following month, perfectly fine. Now, the big problem comes in here, guys. If you don't use credit to purchase something and you use cash, like a big purchase, like a mobile home or something, like, guys, I want you guys to think about this very carefully. You can get into a lot of trouble. A lot of you are like, well, I buy everything cash. Do not buy everything cash. Do not buy everything cash. It's one of the worst mistakes you could make, because once the money is gone, it's very hard to get it back. I just got a message from Chase while I was recording this video, letting me know yet again that, a purchase that I made at Best Buy, and they won't give me my money back, even though they canceled it. They got their laptop back, which was defective. It was broken. It was a $3,000 laptop, over $3,000, and they still won't give me back the hundreds of dollars I paid for the protection plan, even though it was canceled right as soon as they received the laptop back. They keep telling me that the money is on the way, and it just never arrives. And, oh, you're gonna get an email the following day. Can I speak to someone in the U.S.? No, no, there's no one available. Can I speak to a supervisor? There's no supervisor available, because their call centers are all overseas. So you can see it's one big scam, and they don't have the liquidity. So I went to my credit card company. They sent me a letter now letting me know that they've given me a credit for the amount, and they're going to be investigating it. And obviously the credit could be taken away, but they're going to be doing the investigation. They told me to keep all of my documentations regarding the purchase. I made sure to go. I just made backups while recording the video for you guys. So I have all of those backups made, back them up to the cloud as well, so that I have those just in case anything happens, and I can send that over to them. I also have transcripts from speaking to the agents, and it shows all of that. And guess what? I've lost nothing. I've lost nothing. It won't be going on my credit report. It will be showing up that I'm paid in full right now. I have no balance at all, and I am good. I am 100% good. These are some of the reasons why you want to use credit, because it can protect your butt when you are making purchases. It's a shield. My money is safe. My money is in the bank. And what can I do with my money? I can take my physical money and now buy the things that I enjoy, specifically crypto. I've been dumping relatively most of my income into crypto. I have my savings. My savings is cool. And aside from that, I'm good. I don't have to really worry about anything else. I don't worry about anything else. And that's how a lot of people are. When you don't have children or you don't have anything else to worry about, you basically just invest, and invest some more. And that's really it.
It is very, very cheap to have some of these streaming services. If you have one or possibly two, you don't need 5 or 10 of them. Okay, you don't need Hulu and Netflix and Amazon Prime, and you don't need Fubo TV, and you don't need Paramount Plus and Apple TV. You don't need every single one of them. Disney Plus, right? We can go on and on. We don't need every single one. Just one or two is all you need. And here's the reason why I'm bringing this to your attention. Because people need money. They need money, and they will do whatever they can to get it. One of the ways that I'm seeing a lot of people do it, and I saw this before, it happened back in 2000, well, really 2020. We saw a lot of this. In 2017, we saw this. In 2008, this was a game changer. This absolutely changed my life. But one of the things that happened, and it's happened in all those different instances, and anytime the U.S. is headed towards a potential recession, people are looking for money, and they will do anything. One of the things that people do, usually the first thing, is they sell things, like a cell phone, a car, right? I've looked into riding lawnmowers, especially over the summer. I've looked into different cars, buying cars for, and I'm not looking to buy a Lamborghini for $75,000 or anything. If it's there, I'll buy it. But I'm looking at things that are good cars, right? They're reliable, good on gas, but they're things that I can get at a discount.
Guys, when the crash hits, everything is going to be for sale. People are going to be for sale. Do not forget that when Greece went through an economic crisis many years ago, I was there with you guys. You had teenagers, young women, who were selling physical intimacy for €2, the price of a cheese sandwich, because they were hungry. And what did you jerks say? There's a lot of you from the back in the day that are still with me. You basically are just lurking, and you pop up from time to time and let me know you've been here all the entire time. And what did you guys say? You guys, you know who you are. You guys said, Angry, that's €1 too many. That's how evil some of y'all are. All right. You had young women who were selling physical intimacy because they were so hungry for €2. And you jerks were like, Angry, that's €1 too many. Angry, that's €1 too many. It's not going to be a game, guys. It's not going to be a game out there. It's going to be a nightmare. This is your final warning. The crypto bull run is almost here, and the window to build life changing wealth is closing fast. Discover the 7 hidden gems that could explode 100 times or even 1,000 times. These coins are poised to dominate the market and could be your ticket to financial freedom. Don't miss out on crucial insights. Check out the full investment guide linked in the description before it's too late.
I can help somebody by giving them cash, cold hard cash that they can use to then go and pay their car payment, pay their rent, put food on the table, right? Pay their medical bills, whatever they need to do, right? I can help them. I can give them money to go and do that, okay? But by me doing that, I want to get a discount so that I can flip that item and make some money. So one of the things I'm doing, especially right now, I'm looking on Facebook Marketplace, looking on Craigslist. Okay, I look at just many different outlets to figure out what people are selling, how much I could get it for, potentially get it for a discount, where that I can flip it back on Facebook Marketplace, back onto Craigslist or eBay or even Amazon. I do this all the time with electronics. You may see some behind me, like there's one right there, a camera right there. That's a Canon M50. Okay, I bought several of those with a Rode mic on it.
Y'all, Snyder Report was not joking around when he said, I am broke and need help. Holy cow. Bro is not messing around, guys. Snyder Report has 469,000 subscribers, and he is out here hustling right now. Hustling right now, y'all. Oh my gosh. Y'all, y'all, unless this is how you want to live, unless this is how you want to end up rolling, you need to go and invest in crypto and let crypto make money for you while you are sleeping. Okay? The boomers are going to be rushing in and trying to scoop up as much crypto as they can as a place to safeguard their assets and grow their wealth. The thing is, they don't know squat about crypto. It's a young man's game. Okay? They may have stolen our futures, but we are going to steal their pensions. What do you guys think? Everyone is broke and prices are going through the roof, but this doesn't have to be you because you've invested wisely using Angry's Crypto Academy. Let me know what you guys think and we'll talk about it in the comments. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA, men walking away. And cheers.